We keep things rolling with our Lion legends. Today, we're joined by a four-year letterman, UNA's all-time leader in career blocked kicks, a two-time All-American, a member of the GSC quarter team of the decade. Please welcome in Israel Raybon. Israel, thanks for taking the time to talk with us. So let's open up. Just give UNA fans an update on where you're at today.
First of all, thank you for having me. I'm back here with my hometown. I'm in Harvest, Alabama. Just got off work, kind of came home, rewind, just to rewind and relax. And I remember we had an interview today, so I said, well, let me set this laptop up and make sure I know what I'm doing. And just came in here to give you guys a stroke down memory lane.
I'm so excited we could connect digitally. And let's just talk about what comes to mind when you think back to your tenure at North Alabama and everything that you guys accomplished.
Man, it's well, I'm in auto sales. So, every time someone comes through the building and they're always talking about, who did you play for? They automatically ask me that question, not because I'm big, but I tell them I played kickball. And they say, no, you played for somebody. So I tell them who I played for, and they automatically say, man, they had some good teams back in the day. I said, yeah, I led them to a lot of championships. I always make it a point to say, you know what I'm saying? And so, we had a lot going on then. We had a lot to be proud of. And, I always like to say it kind of started with me, you know what I mean? With the block kick, of course, that's what everybody talks about. That was not, when you play football, everybody has a role. So, I let those guys go out and do their thing. We had a veteran-led team. And what people don't really know, Ben, is my freshman year, I played a lot of special teams. So when we got to the semifinals, we played against Jacksonville State. And I was playing like the right up back position. And Jacksonville State, they put two guys on me and got through and blocked two kicks. Jacksonville State beat us by 3 points. So people don't remember that, but I do. You know what I'm saying? So I owed it to UNA to make that big play that my sophomore year. You know what I mean? So it's just funny how irony, things just kind of comes full circle anyway. And, one of the biggest plays in the Division II history from what I read one time. So that was one of the most pleasing things for me. I was able to give back. I'm glad I made that play because I felt like I owed it to my teammates. And, man, we just, as a unit, man, we from that point on, we gelled, you know what I'm saying? We had those older guys bringing us up. And then, we all came in like a big freshman class together. And we grew up, from little kittens to lions. And, man, just the offense that we had, the defense that we had. Our defense, man, Reggie Ruffin posted a picture on Facebook, and he said, man, look at this. We got 7 All-Americans in one picture. And I was like, I never thought about that. I was like, wow, you know what I mean? So I remember being on the field with some guys, and our defense, we were so selfish amongst each other. Keith Humphrey, Ronald McKinnon, you were fighting for tackles and stuff. If we get in a third, fourth down situation, and it's second quarter, I hadn't made a tackle, I'm jumping outside so we can stay on the field. That's just how greedy I remember specifically chasing down a guy on the sideline, toss sweep. Keith Humphrey pushed me to the ground from behind. I was about to make the open field tackle. He pushed me down, jumped over me, made the tackle. That's just how selfish we were amongst each other. We didn't compete with other people. We competed with each other. So it was a fun unit. We'd go back to the huddle and fight and fuss and talk crazy to each other, man. So it was, man, we were so strong within. So it was no problem, competing with other teams.
Those Purple Swarm defenses were great. We're going to dive into more of that in just a second. But I want to go back. Do you wrap up playing high school football? Why did you choose the University of North Alabama?
It came down to, they recruited me really, really hard. You know what I'm saying? So I had gotten a big head. I'd flown to Mississippi State, flew me out there, after a basketball game. Pat Dye came to see me play. Dennis Erickson. I'm like, you know what? I don't even have to go. I mean, like, I'm big time. I'm really big time. These guys are all over me. I didn't cause any problems in the classroom, Ben. None. I was a good kid. I just completely stopped doing my work. Like, I literally sat in the classroom and didn't do another assignment. And my core GPA dropped, and I didn't get the C. I had already made the ACT score, and I had an economics class that I didn't pass, and everybody backed off. You know what I mean? They wanted to send me into a junior college, which I wasn't going to, and I had to go to. I didn't graduate. I had to go to summer school to get my diploma, which was it was an eye-waiting experience for me. And I mean, like I remember walking into the economics class. It was a coach there. I forget his name, and he looked at me when I walked in his class, and he was like, "Israel Raybon, what in the heck are you doing here?" And I felt so small because everybody had these expectations of me, you know what I mean? And I was just like, "Shit, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, coach." He said, "Well, you're gonna do it now. Yeah, I'm not giving you anything. You're gonna earn everything you get." And man, I passed the class. It was just one class, you know what I'm saying? I actually had a 69 in the class. I went to the teacher and said, "Is there anything I can do?" She said, No, I'm not doing anything to help you. This is what you got. This is what you deserve." So I went and took the class, and I ended up, when those schools backed off, Coach Martin, David Martin, he never backed off. He kept calling. He said, "Hey, what do you think about UNA?" I said, "I like UNA." But I had expectations to go to Miami. I had expectations to go to Florida State. I was big time. And when you're an 18-year-old kid, that's what you're thinking. So I said, "Well, you know what? UNA has not left my side. Not one time had they, even though, most small schools, they back off when you have these, they say, oh, he's going big time." They never backed off. They played it like, we know we can get him. And David, man, I called David Martin. I said, "Hey, I'm telling you what the situation is." And I told him about the economics class. He said, "As soon as you pass that class, I promise you we'll sign you." And they did. They kept their word. And from that point on, I said, "I won't let you down, coach."
So you arrive as a freshman in 1992. What a great signing class you guys ended up being, winning 3 national championships. One of the things that a lot of people say is you arrived on campus and you almost looked more like a basketball player than a defensive player. What was that first year like for you?
It was rough. It was rough because I relied on speed and quickness. Ran a 4.6 40. I was 6'5" and a half. I was a pass rusher. I wasn't looking to engage in nobody over 200 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I'm shuck and shovel, and I'm getting to the quarterback. Well, in this league, you know what I'm saying, Gulf South Conference, you're playing Central Missouri State. You're playing big cornbread fed guys, and they looking to get them paws on you. And I remember we had an All-American named Harvey Summerhill. I played my first game, and man, this guy, they put me in the game, because I showed up in the spring, so everybody loved me. And this guy, he put those jumper cables on me. He drove me back to the secondary, threw me down on the ground, and said, "Stay down." And I knew at that point, I said, I got to get in the gym. The gym is where it is. Because it was, it was just an eye-opening experience. Sometimes you got to go through something to see what everybody's been talking about. Because all the coaches kept saying, "You need to go to the gym. You need to lift weights. You need to do this." I'm like, I run a 4.6 40. I can jump out the gym. I don't have to do any of that. But I learned real quick.
1993 arrives. You guys make it to the national championship game. And you touched on this a little bit earlier. I want to dive into it some more. Down 10 in the fourth quarter. You finished up your career as the school's all-time leader in blocked kicks, but you blocked that punt in the fourth quarter, sparks the comeback. Take us back to that moment, and let's dive into detail with it and just everything you remember about it.
So, and anybody that was there could tell you, I had a knack for getting off the ball. I could look down at the ball and move at the same time the ball did. So that was never a problem, like even if you knew the snap count, I know I was going to beat you. And some people, as a scout told me one time, it's just a gift that I had. And I was in a reserve role, so I was fresh, so it wasn't a matter of, when the third down came up, I think it was a 3rd and 1, we stopped them and they were going to punt. I told everybody on the sideline, I said, "Pick your heads up because you're going right back in. I'm about to go and block this." I didn't say I was going to score. I said I was going to block it. And that's exactly what happened. I went in, blocked it, recovered the ball, and went back to the sideline. And everybody was like, "He just said he was going to do it." I didn't know it was going to be one of the biggest plays in Division II history. That I did not know. But I read somewhere and it turned out it was. I didn't know it would have the effect that it had. I didn't know that. But sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes you need that play to spark you, you know what I'm saying, so that Cody can do his thing, and Brian can do his thing, Tyrone can do his thing. Demetrius Shelton, you know what I'm saying? So had I not blocked it, they would have never had the opportunity to do those things. But it's just kind of one of those things say, hey, we're supposed to win this game. We're down 10, we're at home, our heads are down. All of a sudden, boom, when that third hit, man, that stadium erupted. And that's just that energy, man, just put so much hope in. I didn't know it was going to do that to those guys, but I gave them what they needed.
The second national championship in 1994. You were a junior, all-conference and all-American as well that season. But what stands out most to you for championship number 2?
I remember I only had like 2 or 3 tackles that game. It was frustrating. I got double teamed a lot. You know, I remember my sidekick, Marcus Keys. You know, like I said, we were stingy. You know, we was always keeping stats. And, you know, by the time I got to the football, he was saying, oh, you late for the party, ain't you? And I was just so pissed off because these guys are making all these plays. You know, like I said, we were selfish defense. And everybody's hoorahing and dancing around because they're hitting people and having a good time. And I'm only getting smacked around, getting double teamed. It sucked. It was horrible. I was happy we won, but hey, I wanted to lay somebody out too. You know what I mean?
The Purple Swarm defense in 95, regarded as one of the greatest teams of all time at any level, just about. But that 95 team winning it your senior year, that defense, just how special was everything that last season?
Yeah, that was real special. I mean, because that was the last hurrah. We knew, I mean, we had by then we pretty much had grown men on the team then. You know what I'm saying? We had so many people accountable. You know what I'm saying? The young guys, they didn't have no problems because, I mean, we had so many different personalities and entities on the team that if one guy got out of line, you know, it wasn't like another guy grabbed him and snatched him up out of the car. You could come and take care of it in the dorm room. You could stop by and see how he's doing while he's playing a video game. So, you know, it's more than just football stuff on the field football. You know, it's guys that want to sneak out at night, you know, something like that. Hey, we got curfew. You know what time you got to be there. So it wasn't a thing where the coaches had to worry about anything because we were kind of like a community, a family. You know what I'm saying? The seniors held the young guys accountable. And we passed that on to them, and they had that same, you know, leadership quality after we left. So that was a super strong team. We never wavered if we ever got behind. You know, it was almost like, how dare you score on us? Or how dare you try to stop our offense? You know, it wasn't so much as we was cocky. It was just like I said, when I looked at that picture, Reginald, I said, man, it's 7 All-Americans on the field at the same time. How is that even possible? You know what I'm saying? So it was all, if I was lacking in one area, I know I had 6 other guys that could pick it up, you know.
I want to jump now to your post-UNA football career, and it starts with the blue-gray game that you played in. You were the defensive MVP of that ball game. East-West Shrine Bowl, you played in that all-star game as well. So here you are from North Alabama playing in all these all-star games. What were those experiences like for you?
It was rough. It was rough, and I'll tell you why. Because I played in 16 games on a 16-game regular season. We played in the playoffs. So I already played in 16 games at UNA. You know, played a 12-game regular season. Then we went to the playoffs. So by the time Marcus got invited to the Blue-Gray All-Star game, Marcus Keys did. They didn't call me until 3 days before the game because a guy said he didn't want to play because he was scared he was going to get hurt because he had the potential to go in the first round. So when they called me, I had to go to UNA. I had to go to Florence, get from Huntsville, get my shoulder pads, cleats, and stuff. And when I got there, now you know how I am. When I got there, all the guys looking at me, you know, all the guys, they're full of testosterone. So they looking at me like, who is this guy? And I come in there just as loud as I want to be. You know, North Alabama is here, baby. Set your jaw. You know what time it is. And Marcus Keys over there like, oh, my God. Here he come with his mouth. And so he's telling me, hey, man, these boys down here ain't messing around, man. These Jews, they for real. They for real. I said, man, I'm going to kick everybody's ass down here. You hear me, Marcus? I ain't lying. So went through practices and stuff like that. And then we got to the game. And like you said, I've been down there 2 days, pretty much, 2 days of practice. I was MVP, you know, and it's because I felt shunned. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how dare you not invite the Division II the 1995 Division II Defensive Lineman of the Year? I don't get an invite, so I had to show them. So after I did that game, then I got a lot of more attention. I got invited to the Senior Bowl. I got invited to the East-West Shrine game. And I didn't go to Senior Bowl because I was just worn out. I was just beat up. I was tired. You know, so I went to the East West Shrine game, was out in California, which I love, you know, and it's just, everything just took off from there.
Drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 5th round. Getting your name called in the NFL draft, how great of a feeling was that?
That was, man, I tell you, you put in so much work to get there. And then when the moment comes, see, once you go to Indianapolis Combines and you see all the competition there, you see guys you never even heard of before. They're just as big, they're just as strong. So what is it about you that's so special that this team will take you over that guy? Because normally when you get around somebody and you're playing against him, you'll say, "Dad, he's stronger than I am," or "He's bigger than I am," or "He's faster than I am." So you already know, you as a person, because you know yourself within. So what is it about you that makes a team would take you over this guy? Because if you were picking, guess who you would pick? I'd pick him. You know what I mean? So it was one of those type things. So I was like, man, he ain't with yet, and this guy ain't got picked yet. So I know they're not gonna pick me. And then all of a sudden, my name was called on day 2. Now, mind you, I called Marks the first day when they picked Keyshawn Johnson. I said, "Marks, can you believe they picked him and then picked me?" He got so mad. He hung up the phone. "Man, stop calling my name phone." Hung up on me, you know. So I'm like, you know, so I had to wait the first day as if I was gonna get drafted, you know, and because they told me we're looking to get you in about the late 3rd round. So I'm thinking, hey, I was already counting my money, you know what I mean? But when they called my name, man, it was a relief. It's fun. It's so fun for me as an ex-pro player to watch those guys on draft day, you know, sit around and watch for their names, because I know exactly what they're feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like they said, only 1% of college players make it to the pros. So just because you expect to get drafted don't mean you're going to get drafted. And that's just the first part of the process. You know, you got to go to mini camp, you got to go to training camp, and you still got to meet those veterans whose job you're there to get. And they know you're there to take their job. So they job to make sure you know as little as possible, you know what I'm saying, when you get there. So it was quite an experience, but I enjoyed every bit of it.
Time with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Carolina Panthers as well. I believe you played in the playoffs as well with the Steelers, but just your NFL experience, tell us about that.
Like when I got there, I had a bunch of veteran guys there, you know what I'm saying? So I have the ability to kind of get away from the thing where I'm here to take your job and just to learn from you know what I'm saying? I had that thing, that way to just jump in a veteran's hip pocket. And I was fortunate enough to have, I pretty much went back to UNA, except it was in the pros. I had Greg Lloyd, Ray Seals, Brinston Buckner, Joel Steed, LaVon Kirkland, Chad Brown, Carnell Lake, Rod Wilson. What? I don't have to do anything. I can sit on the bench and just learn from these guys. And because they had so much to give. And it was just awesome experience for me. I just jumped in their hip pocket. I wouldn't let, man, if they go somewhere, I'm going. You know what I mean? So it was just one of those things, like when I got traded from Pittsburgh, I knew, you know what I'm saying, I had to take everything that they gave me with me. You know, when I went to Carolina, and I had a field day there because, you know, I got a lot more playing time, you know, and, you know, when I was released from Carolina, I didn't quite understand what was going on because I was playing and I was playing really well. And I didn't get an exit physical, which caused a problem, you know, with the team and my agent and stuff like that. So I flew out to Arizona because I didn't understand, like, once I got released, I had another job within 15 minutes. And my agent called me, he said, "Okay, I got to get you on a plane. You'll be in Arizona. They want to sign you." I was like, "What? I just signed a piece of paper 15 minutes ago," you know? So I was on a plane 2 hours later, got to Arizona, took a physical. They said, "Hey, something going on with your knee. What's going on there?" I said, "Oh, it's just a little burst of sac. It's fine." They was like, "No, we're going to have to fail you." So then I had to go back to Carolina, got back on the team with them, went through had a couple of surgeries, went through physical underperformed this. So I was there for a year, and then I went to Dr. Andrews, and he could never get it right. So he said, I'm gonna disable you, which I didn't know he could do that, but he's Dr. James Andrews. He can do anything he wants to. So after that, I could never pass another NFL physical. And after that, so I started playing in the XFL league. When that came up, a couple of years it went by. I jumped on that because my heart was still in it. And after the XFL, I was that good in that league. They sent me to Green Bay. When I got to Green Bay, when they pulled those records up, they said, "Look like you got a disability in your folder." I said, "Yeah, I do." They were like, well, we can't sign you. And I said, well, why you bring me here then? So they was like, oh, we sorry. I guess we got kind of crossed up in the crosshair. So then they sent me back out of there. And I started playing with Corey Mayfield. He played with me in Pittsburgh. He called me up and he was like, well, look, man, I think you'll be real good at this arena football. I said, arena football? What is that? He said, man, you know what I'm saying? You can make some pretty good money here. I said, man, we got a arena football team here, Tennessee Valley Vipers. They play real football, but they don't pay them guys but like $250, $300 a game. I ain't doing that. And he said, no, man, you can make like 6 figures. I said, really? He said, oh, yeah. So they brought me up, 30-year-old rookie. You mind you, 30-year-old rookie. They showed me the game, taught it to me. I guess by game 4 or 5, I caught on, started balling out, man. I was Bill Ford Tough Man of the Year, man. Got an award and everything. So made the all-rookie team. I was good, man. I was like, I kind of like this. So I stuck around and played another couple of years. And after that, I kind of let it go.
An outstanding career, and it's been a great conversation, Israel. We really appreciate the time. I want to wrap it up with this. You remember the Division II team of the quarter century, the GSC team of the quarter century, the GSC team of the 1990s, the UNA all-football team from 1949 to 98, excuse me, your time in the NFL, the 3 national championships. What's it just like now reflecting back on all of that you accomplished?
Well, that shakes up for a pretty good career, man. I remember being there as a young pup, man. I was walking down the Hall of Fame, and I was looking at all these guys on the Hall of Fame in Flowers Hall, and Billy Gamble, the basketball coach, he looked down the hallway. He said, what you looking at those for? I said, how can I get my picture up here? He said, oh, don't you worry about it. You'll never be up there. You don't work hard enough. And from that time on, man, I just, well, shoot, let me see what happens when you work hard. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like where it unfolded. Now, I was lucky enough, 2006, got inducted into the Hall of Fame, got my picture up there. Now I have a daughter that graduated from UNA. I have another daughter that wants to go to UNA and play volleyball. So they get to walk by there and see my picture and stuff like that. So maybe y'all be good enough to be like your dad. You know, I gave you great genes, you know. So it's all about bragging rights for me. You know what I'm saying? I get to say, you know, what I used to do, who I was, stuff like that. But when it's all said and done, it all took hard work, dedication, a lot of prayer, a lot of support. You know, we had the right coaches. I had the right teammates. You know, it just, everything just came together.
Israel Raybon, thanks for taking the time to catch up with us.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, man. Stop inviting everybody before you. Always call me first. Then you know better. Don't do that.
We'll get you first from now on.
Thank you.